Guys, if you're a fan of the SLY GUY Podcast, and this Thursday episode is just not enough, and you want more, head on over to patreon.com/SLY GUY Podcast, where you can get bonus content, early access to the weekly podcast, additional ability to ask questions for this podcast, and much, much more. There's a lot going on behind the scenes at the SLY GUY Podcast. We have more team members on board. We're working towards increasing everything, increasing the output, changing the look of the studio, bringing more to Patreon. And if you want to be part of that, you want to be a rider Sly, you want to be a Sly hard, head on over to patreon.com/SLY GUY Podcast. The SLY GUY Podcast is always brought to you in association with MODESTBEER. That's Modest Beer, you believe. How can I spell that quickly? I've got kids and I like to swear. Modest Beer are the OG sponsors of the SLY GUY Podcast. They've been with us from day one. Before, I was going to say Pussy was a kitten, but I say that too often. So before, when Doggy was a puppy, woof woof, Modest has been here. And Modest want to thank you guys for your loyal listenership and for your loyal Modest supportership by offering you 15% off when you go to their website, www.modestbeer.co.uk, and use the discount code SLYPA15 at checkout. That's 15% off using the code SLYPA15. Awooga! Modest didn't ask me to do that. I just freestyled. But that's what you're getting.
I'm the SLY Guy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the SLY GUY Podcast. If you're tuning into this podcast today to listen, if this is an audio only listen, it's worth checking out the video because this was a silly podcast. This is the first of a slight couple of tweaks we've been making with the podcast. I felt that things were getting a little bit stale, you know, so we had to freshen it up by adding a couple of new segments to the podcast. And what a guest to have as the first recipient of the new look style podcast, Ciaran Bartlett. Dr. Bartlett, the man himself. He is on the show with me and we had a lot of fun doing the new segments. Be Sly, which is where I ask my guests to just give off about stuff that's annoying them this week. And of course, the return of a segment that was very popular on a previous podcast that I cannot name for legal reasons, Boytown. Phone calls are back, and Ciaran did a ridiculous phone call today. Very well worth the listen alone just to hear the call that he made on the podcast. And it's something that I have honestly missed, and I didn't know I missed it so much until we did one today. It was one of the most enjoyable moments I've ever had in a podcast. So guys, buckle your seatbelts in because this is a good one. This week's SLY GUY Podcast with my guest, Ciaran Bartlett. Oh, I have a mince pie hiding in the cupboard for me when I go home.
Oh, hiding in the cupboard for me.
Ciaran Bartlett, we're here. We're recording already. This is the only thing about this podcast I find. I just have so much fun talking from before we record. You have to turn the cameras on, and
that's what I always feel like that I like the pre-cum stage, you know, myself, and then.
Yeah, and do you find the conversation is like actual pre-cum, and sometimes you don't know that's the best part?
Yeah.
Until you're in the shower being like, oh, that's a bit slippery. And you don't know what's going on.
Do you feel a conversation on your fingers later and smell and go, oh, it's weird?
That's it. I don't recall having any prawn
Why does the smell not turn me when I'm on it? It turns me when I'm off it.
Who knows? But we're on. We've pre-cum, and now it's time for the real juice. It's time for the real juice. It's time for
that 37-year-old.
I know.
Thicker than the thickest person in your class at school. Jizz, you know.
Is that what you get, is it?
What?
My age is just
Mine's thickened. I'm 37. What are you?
I'm 37 too.
I know.
Yeah.
I thought we were.
Mine gets thinner. It's only a bit of me it's thin.
Yours is getting thinner?
Yes.
Mine isn't. Mine's maybe somewhere the powers have aligned where there was calm balance between us.
Why are we talking about why this is the first?
I'm sorry.
Straight away cancelled on YouTube. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is vulgar." I'm turning off.
This is vulgar.
But this is what happens on the podcast.
Yep, you put two hairy men together,
two perverts together. I was away at the weekend there. I got mistaken twice. Once for you and once for Colin Gales. Now I'm bald. I've lost all my identity.
You got your what?
I got mistaken.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I got mistaken too, actually.
Do you know what I thought you said? I thought you said I got my steak in twice. And I'm like,
do you mean like...
I'm going, why are you saying that? And then I'm going, does he mean he's eating steak or does he mean he's
got the buck?
He's
I mean, there's the
he's
phrase.
jammed the steak in.
Get your steak in.
Yeah.
Like, let's
have a ribeye?
I genuinely had a steak on the bone over the weekend.
Yeah, medium rare. Well, like on the bone? What's that like a?
It's like a, was it like
a tomahawk or?
It wasn't a tomahawk.
Right.
I just think it was a lazy butcher.
Right. Okay.
And he just left the bone in.
Oh, maybe a T-bone though.
Yeah, it wasn't a tomahawk. It could have been a T-bone. Yeah, it was a T-bone. See, when I got the meat off it, it looked like a letter T.
Aye,
so it was a T-bone
steak. Yeah.
I thought T-bone was just a guy out of no, that's T-bag.
Yeah. What a show!
It's coming back.
Why?
Prison Break Series 8. Prison Broken.
Just do something new. Do you know what I mean? I hate the continual reboots of stuff that definitely outstayed its welcome anyway.
But we're two guys that know how the game works. We're two guys that know how this process works.
Risk-averse commissioners.
So what happens is people are like, "Are doing this?
Oh, here I made money before. It'll make money again, but will it be shit?
Probably.
Yes.
But nobody cares anymore.
Do you know what's the biggest disappointing reboot you've ever sat through?
Reboot?
Yeah.
I don't know because I'm going to say.
Sorry to interrupt. Or one that was like a show that did like a series 5-6 years after the last one.
It was a disappointment.
Where you just go, this is balls.
Well, the last series of Top Boy made me sad.
Right.
Because they tried to end it. They were like, this is the end. There'll be no more Top Boy. And then I was like, well, don't waste 3 of the 6 episodes then. Building up an Irish gang that just, spoiler alert, gets killed. And then there's no follow-up to that.
Right.
Delve more into Deshane and Sully for me. Let me know what's going on with their personal beef. You know what I mean? I don't want to know about the fucking, the Kinnans are popping off now in the real world. That's making it, shut up.
That is what they do. They also look around and go, where is villainy in the real? Oh, we can do Russian villains again. You're like, Russia? Sure. And I'm like, why is your understanding of what's good so balls? Yeah. Do you know it was balls? And I mean, I loved this show. The reboot of 24 was one of the biggest piles
just
of
more 24
steamy boxers that I've ever watched in my whole life.
But does anything hurt you more than when you get excited about seeing something that's shit?
No, it is. It's a bad feeling. Like
David Brent, Life on the Road.
Oh, that was shit.
I genuinely wanted to commit suicide.
Hold on, now was that the one? Right, because they've done 2 of those David Brent things now, haven't they?
Well, I only seen the one because that was enough for me.
They definitely did another one. What one's Life on the Road? Was that the one that was out about
in the cinema
about 10 years ago though?
Could have been a wee bit after that because I think it was the last time I was at the Fringe, maybe 6 years ago. 6.
Right, so they've definitely, but they did like an Office revisited, didn't they, before that?
Yes, but it was okay. The Christmas wasn't it?
Yeah. No, so they do the Christmas one, and then didn't they do? They've definitely done 2 Brent things, I think. Yeah. And one of them,
they can drop the R because it wasn't Brent, it was Bent.
There is one that is absolutely shite, like, and I think it was the last one they did there.
But it
was really shit.
And I love it. I love Ricky Gervais, and I'm like,
was this where he actually like tries to form a band?
Yeah, and goes on tour.
It's poor.
Not
it's
good.
Really
and he had
poor.
Doc Holiday, is it, or Doc?
I know who's that.
Shane know because he's a young man that raps. But I don't because I'm 37.
Oh, that guy that's in it with him?
Yeah.
In the band? Yeah, it's bag.
Didn't like that at all.
It's a poor show.
Do you ever see stuff that you go, oh no, it is, like you look at it and go, this is shit? But it's a fun shit. It's fun shit.
Like what?
I watched the entire Halloween 2018 reboot series.
Oh, yeah. So the first one's amazing, I think. I actually think the first one's brilliant.
Was that the one where... Again, I don't know where. Do you ever? No, I know you two. Chloe's behind the camera today, listeners, just in case we're speaking of. I know you two have your in banter, which is your own unique banter. I have my in banter with Catherine, which is weird banter, but to me that's universal banter.
Yeah.
We only refer to Michael Myers as Michael, but with a Geordie accent. So we'll be like, oh no, there's Michael. He's like, Michael's back, fuck's sake, Michael. And like sometimes I'll make noises in that accent if he gets hurt and all. Be like, fuck me, I busted leak. Me fucking fingers. And it's fun to us, but to anyone else, it's like, what are you doing? So I was chatting.
Michael, you can't see.
I was chatting with my mate Daniel, being like, have you seen the new Michael? And he was like, what are you talking about? Who's that? But we watched, so the reboot that we've seen is the one, so spoiler alert, anyone that hasn't seen the movie from 2018, anyone's not seen the movie from 5 years ago, is that the one where
he gets kicked down the stairs at the end into the cellar? Yeah.
Have you seen? So that's Halloween.
That's brilliant. The next one's shite. Evil Dies Tonight. Dave. If they say that once in that movie.
Oh, so many times.
Isn't it? So
Tonight, evil dies.
Yeah.
And hey, spoiler it, Michael doesn't.
He doesn't.
No, Michael's not good.
That's so bad. And then the third one, we've seen the third one.
Yeah, I watched it last night. So Halloween Kills was where everybody, and then the guy that looks like Cobblepot jumps out of the hospital in the second one. Remember, they think that's Michael, and they chase him up around the stairs and make him jump, and then he hits the ground. They're like,
he splats.
It's not Michael.
Doesn't he just splat? Yeah,
it just does. And then because that's the one where he comes out the front like vintage. I'm gonna just call him Michael now. I can't keep on Michael. People be getting annoyed, but. When he comes out the front and he does that classic move like he does at the start, you know, when he's the wee boy and he kills his sister and he's just standing there in a wee clown outfit.
Yeah.
And then they all try to get him and they steal his mask and then they just, the whole Tommy and the crew.
And this is the last one?
This is in the middle one.
Right.
And they jump around and they like beat him all up and you think.
And then he just starts killing everyone.
He's about to go. Yeah, but apparently Michael charges up when he's just lying down. So he's like just gets him at the end. So yeah, he just.
I'm trying to remember the last one though.
So the last one was this boy who, to be fair, he got a kid. He killed a kid, pushed the kid down the stairs because the kid locked him in the attic.
Oh, and then, fuck! I didn't like that.
So the parents came home and he goes, "I'm gonna kill you, Jeremy," and then they just Jeremy dies. So it didn't look good for him. He looked culpable for the crime. They were like, fuck, but Jeremy locked me in the wardrobe. No. And then Michael's living in like a turtle in the sewers.
Yeah.
Now the only thing I didn't like about that was he was just wearing his usual gear.
Yeah,
you know, boiler suit and the mask and all, just in the sewers, eating pizza with a big giant rat.
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo. But
that's great.
But then
I did we see that one? I seem to remember.
Yeah.
Is there stuff to do with like the banister stair type stuff? Like yeah,
because they spend a lot of time in that house looking up and down the banisters where Jeremy
like
fell.
Through what do you call that? A balustrade, is it?
Yeah, balustrade. Yeah.
Through all that, like it's sort of shit.
Yeah,
we saw those in the cinema.
But,
I think.
Like no, so we watched the new trilogy over the Halloween weekend last week, which would be now, and usually Catherine doesn't watch horror films.
Yeah,
no
neither
time for it, but for some reason she was lured in by Michael.
You asked me, sorry by the way, have we ever seen something thinking it was going to be good that was shite? We've done that a couple of times this week. So we tried to get. I bought us some horror films on Prime.
Okay.
And
I've fun to tell you about. I can't wait.
So we put on 1408.
Yes.
It's an evil fucking room.
It was a wee bit scary.
I think it's a wee bit.
Point.
I think it's a bit scary, and then it becomes too much. Like there's 20 minutes in the middle that could have got rid of because the rooms. It's a Stephen King story, and basically John Cusack is like a skeptic. He writes books about haunted places, but he's skeptical. He goes to this place where there's an evil hotel room, but it's like a psychological. The room tricks you into like basically wanting to kill yourself. Which is quite a lot like most hotel rooms.
So if you go to a hotel room with no Wi-Fi, sorry. And you know what another thing would be? Dirty cakes under the bed or something.
Oh,
or like a wee bit of dust. We don't need the dust on the headboard.
We went into one in America one time. It was we'd been staying on Holiday Inns, and this was a Best Western. And on the headboard behind, on the headboard, there was what you might describe as a steamy handprint. Oh. And a fucking just a pube. And we were both like, do you know what? Let's get in our room in here. And it wasn't much cleaner. It was sort of stinking. But anyway, it was sort of shit, that movie. It went on too long. But I sort of enjoyed it. Chloe didn't love it. And then
That's okay.
We went to we went
Branding.
We went rogue and we watched what was the one we saw last? Was that 2 nights ago? The Devil's Advocate with Keanu and Al Pacino.
It's not a good film, that.
Oh, mate, Charlize Theron and that. A truly thankless role. You like it, do you? I
was going to, you did the fucking mind trick. I was about to go, why?
What I call it a thankless role for her because she plays. It's a classic.
Who is
movie.
The devil in it? Is it Keanu Reeves?
Pacino.
Pacino's the actual devil.
I think so, yeah.
And Keanu Reeves is just his advocate.
Yeah. Mate. It's poor. Like there's a great scene
Like,
on a train where you start to get the impression that Pacino is supernatural. Where like some guy is gonna cut him on the train, and Pacino basically says to him in Spanish, "Here, your missus is getting fucked up a bum by somebody on your nice green bedspread in the house, and she's gonna love it." And it's amazing because he's speaking in Spanish, but he delivers it with Pacino, you know,
Just out of
hooah, you know, but she gonna love it, right? And you're like, but it's all in Spanish anyway.
Weird, he sound Afro-American. You gonna love it, son. Yeah. Shit.
And and that bit's great because you go, fuck, he knows shit that he shouldn't know. And then there's this whole bit where he's bilocated to be in the court with Keanu, but be at home bucking Theron. And then Theron tries to tell Keanu about it. This is a great understatement of a doorman, by the way. Keanu comes home, "Where's my wife?" All flagging from him, by the way, just wouldn't. Keanu Reeves, right, in this. And
he's such a nice guy.
Do you know what? See John Wick movies, great.
Yeah.
See Speed, great.
Yeah.
Point Break, great. See nearly everything else.
Yeah.
Just fucking Keanu Reeves, right? Yeah. My eyes don't move, right? So he just fucking, "Where's my wife?" He's meant to be Southern in this. Like Southern, deep south of America, not fucking, you know, Keanu Reeves. Like fucking like, you know, he's supposed to be fucking.
"Devil, where are you? Where's the devil? I need a word."
Have you seen my wife? And I don't know where that was from.
Have you seen my wife?
Borat Reeves. So he comes back to the apartment. He goes, "Where's my wife?" And the guy goes, "Oh, she's down at this church, which hasn't been in the movie before, by the way."
Shagging church.
She's down at the church. She left earlier. She didn't seem great. She didn't seem in a great mood. Cut to Theron in the church, wrapped up, rocking back and forth in a fucking pink quilt. I'm like, she didn't seem great.
Yeah.
She didn't seem great. She needs fucking sectioned, you can't, right? She's fucking... And then she's like, "Oh, I fucked your boss." And he's like, "When?" She's like, "All day." And he's like, "Well, he didn't because he's been with me." And she goes, "Ah!" And rips the quilt off. Buck naked, bush, baps, scrabs all over. In the middle of fucking church. I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
It's...
Bush baps in church.
I'll say this.
That's the first time
it's not earned.
No.
None of it's earned. Sure, it's not. You're just sitting watching it going...
What do you mean, the baps in Bush is not earned?
It's not earned.
Yeah, well, you know what? Speaking of,
Excuse me.
I thought there was going to be guaranteed baps in Bush in Halloween Kills. Back to that again.
Yep.
When you know that my mega came out of the sewers, he's had enough margarita for the day, and he was charged up, ready to go. And his wee mate had lured him to this house when it was like the pervy dentist who had promoted like his sexy nurse to above the new Michael Corey, his girlfriend.
Right.
So then, like, it was looking, she was like running the shower and all, and I was like, vintage horror.
Do you know?
No.
Do you know? Do you know vintage horror? That's great.
Lessons will be learned here. Do not have sex before you're married.
Give me the LL Cool J.
And then, but then you have to suppress your 16-year-old self watching a horror film with like yourself watching your wife.
You know. Somebody asked you what, you know, I know what you did last summer. Oh, if I was you, like, what was the worst thing you did last summer? And you're like, wanked watching the first one of these.
Yeah.
You know, like, wanking the living room when everyone else was in bed. Yeah, it's fucking unreal.
Oh, but then what happened? So this is the point that Catherine said to me. This, like, having watched the trilogy, that this has got a bit ridiculous. Was at the end, Michael is in the house with Laurie and like they've basically pinned them to the table with knives and a fridge. And then he's strangling Laurie, and then her granddaughter Alison comes in and does like a fucking reverse armbar and snaps his arm, which only has 3 fingers, God love him, at this point, because he got
someone fucking
shotgunned them.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because, I mean, stupid move of him, he reached in to grab a gun, and then he was like, "Oh, bollocks," and that
is a surefire way to lose a finger, like.
Stupid bastard. But then they kill him, so then obviously Laurie's holding his hand, they just cuts his wrist, and he's cutting him too much, like he's had a lot. And then they tie him to the roof of the car.
You're the only person that's ever watched Halloween going, Michael's had enough here.
Yeah, like, it's a bit... Because then it's like, you know, they love this, like, tonight evil dies.
Yeah.
Those sort of things, like the sheriff
evil
gets out
dies
of the car.
Tonight.
And they were like, no, we need to bring him for an autopsy. And he was like, not make out. And then they like tie him to a roof and they bring him to a dump yard, or like a rubbish dump, and they put him in a big fucking grinder just to make sure, and she pushes him in and his whole body just goes.
And somehow a year later his eye goes.
Yeah. Because what'll transpire to be is they'll be like, it wasn't me. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine that. That'd be great. But you need to hear this now. This is going to sound like I'm bullshitting you. But whenever I bought on Prime Halloween Ends to watch to complete the trilogy for us, I was recommended another film. And the film's called
a horror film.
Horror film. This is not a joke. And please tell me if you've heard of this. It's called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. This exists. And the plot is apparently Christopher Robin left him in the 100-acre wood. He grew up. He didn't care about Winnie the Pooh, Eeyore, Tigger. Piglet left him there when he didn't take too well to that. So
2 weeks later, when he's having a fucking bacon sandwich,
so he's back.
Piglet's fucking clothes just covered in blood on the fucking frying pan.
And Eeyore smiles for the first time. He's like, this is the fucking thing I've been looking out for. So that exists as a horror, and Christopher Robin brings his girlfriend back to be like, oh, well, this is where I used to play as a kid. And Winnie the Pooh's like, nah. And Winnie the Pooh goes in a rampage, Blood and Honey. And the worst thing about it is, there is a sequel, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. So...
when were these made?
I don't. You know what? I'm gonna make. Look, Ben.
IMDb that.
Edit this in, because I'm gonna have to just put a wee clip up here, and if it's taken off YouTube, who cares? Because this is fucking great. Winnie the Pooh, blood and honey. Winnie.
Blood and Honey is.
It's a good weekend, to be fair.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my god.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Girls and guys, if you want some soft skin, get some
who's the lizard lady selling that? The start out shot one of these faces.
So, Jagged Edge Productions.
Ladies, do you want Botox?
Oh wow.
Why does he sound like he has like learning difficulties?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's best mates with Winnie the Pooh, so he probably does.
I really need to find out what's happened here, okay? I cannot act.
Winnie Pooh, where are you?
Where are you?
Winnie, you son of a bitch.
You should see the state of Winnie in this, by the way.
They've turned wild.
Winnie's gone for a big feral poo behind one of the trees.
They should just call it Winnie the Shite.
I do. That's why you're watching it.
Oh, why?
Someone is outside.
Oh, it's Piglet. What do you think of this? We get a watch along going for this?
I can't believe they've made this.
And he turned around.
Do you know what I'd like to know? Genuinely, A.A. Milne, the writer of Winnie the Pooh, his estate would surely have had to okay this.
Yeah.
There's no way they could be calling it that and using all that there. Like, that's absolutely insane.
But you know what happened? See, whenever, like...
Did you watch it, or have you just trailered it?
I've just trailered.
Oh my god! I'll watch it with you.
Yeah, let's do a watch on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. But I'll
only do it though if we commit now.
Yes,
to doing Blood and Honey 2 as well.
Yes, we're doing Blood and Honey 2.
Winnie the 2. That's what I would have called it.
But it's like the line I liked the most in it was he goes, "Why are you doing this? We used to be friends."
Where's he fucking
he's just everywhere.
But now we're going to be Christopher and what was it? Christopher and Alice Robin.
Alice Robin, yeah.
Oh, mate. She's just going, where are we? It's so novel to be here. You're going to introduce me to your living animal, talking animal friends.
Yeah.
Imagine saying that to your fiance. We're going to. Do you want? It's good for us to learn where you grew up as well. Do you want to come to? I grew up in this forest. Did you? Aye. Right. Aye. Let's go to the forest. I was mates with a bear, a tiger, a piglet,
and a depressed donkey.
And a fucking manic depressive donkey, and they all talk.
Yep.
And she's just going, yeah, I want to go meet Pooh. Where's my voice from?
I mean, see if you're a woman also engaged to be married, and you say to your fiance, I want to go and meet Pooh. You know, you sound a wee bit lurdiff as well, don't you? Lurdiff. Let me go meet Pooh. You're like, just go to the bathroom, do that.
Yeah. That's so bad.
But do you
Blood and honey sounds like things that you shouldn't find in your shit.
Yeah. Blood and honey sounds like a redox for
sounds like symptoms of something that you definitely need to go to the doctors about. Like,
yeah, blood and honey.
There was I took a big one today and there was blood and honey in it. You know?
Oh, speaking of, I went to a public toilet in Applegreen on the way to Portrush there, and when I went in to pee, someone had done it was like explosive diarrhea, but it was blood. It was rotten. I was like, someone needs some honey up there.
A big fucking sriracha one. Oh, Jesus!
It was sore, but like. You know what I love?
She loved that.
I love the thought, right? See, of writers' rooms and pitches. That to me is one of the funniest things. See, you come up with ideas, and you go and you say them, and you know someone said it like this. Alright, so someone's gone. Right, so we've got this name for this movie. It's Winnie the Pooh. It's Winnie the Pooh.
It's a Winnie the Pooh horror movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Think horror, blood.
Yeah.
Think Winnie the Pooh, honey. Blood and honey.
And they're like,
blood honey. Blood honey would have been just on its own.
Yeah.
Just blood honey. That's a better name for the whole movie.
Yeah.
Don't mention Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
In the title.
Blood honey.
Yeah.
But no, let's watch it.
I've really twatted this.
Doing
last
what?
few days, my neck. Oh, doing what? My neck. I think I've laid down on it really weird.
Because I like to sleep with a floppy arm, and I flop my arm too much, so I think I dislocated my shoulders with my big fat head sleeping on it. On the gap between where the shoulder meets the arm.
I know where I've twatted as well. It's right there. Because I can feel it. There's
you know, you need that, some honey.
Blood and honey.
Yeah. But I mean, I'd like to know
I need Michael Myers to fucking stab me there.
But you know what?
Let it all out.
What are the horror films that have done surprisingly well? Obviously, the one that comes to mind, again, that I like from a writer's perspective, The Human Centipede, because someone's come up with that idea. Right, they've come up with it and then gone.
It's done surprisingly well to even be made.
But you think of all the process I go through. So you're the writer. You have this idea. You have to publicly and you have to say it to
what's
somebody.
the log line of that?
It's just it just is the three people.
Yeah, it's just what
the log line is the three people. The first guy does a log and it passes down the line. But someone's an idea. Listen, we're sewing three people together.
That's unreal.
And they just shite in each other's. So what the process does he say to us? I assume it's a man that wrote it, because a woman's not writing Human Centipede.
No.
But does he say to his agent first to be like, listen, do you want to read over this pitch I've done? And then the agent's like, I will send that out.
Yeah, like how many rungs on the ladder are there of humans making the decision to go fund this?
At every point you're going to go, I can see why people would say no to this.
I can see why people aren't going to come to the cinema for this.
But yet, it seems to get... And the writer must be like, fucking, they're falling for it. Like, I bet you that was the last pitch. He had about 6 things he really liked, and then he's like, fuck, you know what? We'll sew people's fucking shite pipes to their mouths, see what happens. And then they shite down the line.
That's like something after you've done a full day pitching ideas, and people are going, no. You go... Fine, and as you're walking out, you go, why would just fucking sew your shite pipe to my mouth then? And then you walk out and somebody goes,
but why stop at my mouth? Why not sew my shite pipe to your mouth?
Yeah.
And then you've got 4 execs on their hands and knees being like, and then they have to green light it, and then they have to go and get the actual money. So
can we get a glass table in here so we can shoot upwards into this?
But then someone has to go, I'll executive produce this. I'll get the money for this.
A director has to be gotten.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
But see, that's easy once it's commissioned.
Yeah,
you can get people to come on board. Because, I mean, see if someone said to you, listen, this movie's being made.
This movie's been brown lit.
Do you want to direct it? You'd be like, oh, absolutely.
Oh, mate.
Absolutely.
It's so grim, though. Do you know what ones have done well, surprisingly well, I think? One of these is shite and did well, and the other one is good and did well. I think good. Blair Witch Project is a shite film.
Oh, really?
I think it's shite.
Oh, I thought it was good.
But it did well.
Yeah.
But, do you know, Paranormal Activity
Paranormal
is basically filmed Like, I think it was made for about 30 grand. Like, really for nothing, and it made millions. Like, it would be interesting to look up the budget of that.
But it was a great idea, though.
Apparently they shot that, a lot of that, like live. Like, I read a whole article about it before about like,
just Tim Henson on strings.
Yeah, that it was all like a lot of stuff was like set up.
Yeah. So the actors didn't know.
No, they knew. Right. $15,000 that was made for, mate. That is, what is that even, like 12 grand our money roughly? Like,
well, now probably 15.
Yeah,
grand,
14.
Like, fuck's sake.
Like, that is fuck's sake. That is mental, isn't it? Though, like, I mean, that's like, and how much did it make? I mean, it's made. I would think it made millions. Like,
now, you know what we need Chloe to check out next? The budget for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yes, Chloe, you're on budget duty here. What did it make? Over 100?
Jesus Christ.
$194.2 million off of 15 grand. That must be budget to earnings. Probably one of the biggest.
Do you know, I had written what I thought was my favourite ever sketch that I never made when Paranormal Activity came out. And it was just Normal Activity, but it was just me sitting in front of the TV watching TV, just changing it and having a cup of tea.
Normal Activity.
Letting off a fart. That was it. Yeah.
Putting your socks off.
Yeah, I just feel like that's... Oh, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, only 100 grand?
Mental.
You'd think a lot of that spent on the prosthetics alone.
Definitely
on the actors.
On the Pooh mask, as it were.
Which is also a prop from the Human Centipede. And it made 5.2 mil. That's still a good profit.
That is good profit. Here, what about...
can you find out the...
what about Human Centipede numbers? And who wrote it?
And I also want the plot, the
log line.
The log line from Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Yeah. Oh,
more
mate.
poo. More blood, more honey.
Double. So, this is Human Centipede. It cost 1.5 million euros. That's mad.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. Pooh harder.
And how much did it make? Human Centipede.
It's a franchise now, isn't it?
Oh, here we go. It made 250 grand back in dollars. That's not good.
No, that's not good. Why is there so many sequels?
Someone loves it. Like, I'll say this: someone loves that.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you couldn't make it. Again, we know processes, Dave.
Yeah.
You can be in things that you don't love. You can work on things that you don't love.
Absolutely.
Whenever you're trying to get your foot in the door and whatever. I'm still doing this for loads of things, but like,
I just thought of the best Halloween costume ever. By
see, is it us with our asses and mouths?
No, it's three people sewed together with a wee blonde wig at the front. The Human Centipede.
Oh my god!
Thanks.
Unbelievable. So,
oh, by the way, on another note, come back to that in a second. I'm reading Holly, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at the minute, and see when I'm reading the bit about the shopkeeper, when I read the line, "Don't eat it so quick now, you'll get a tummy." I laughed. It was very funny for me.
Hey, take it easy, you'll get a stomachache if you guzzle it like that.
Guzzle it. Right, so your said process is feeding.
Oh yeah, so you can be in stuff that you don't want to be in. I don't think there's any way you could be making multiple Human Centipede movies if you didn't love it.
Yeah.
You have to love that. Like,
what if you're just trying to make a break as an actor, and you're like, what are you? I am the Centipede 2. What
are these movies that they've made? Sharknado. They've made so many of those, and they're all shite, but the same people are in them because they're all making money. Like they all are in profit. Every one of those films. So you sort of go, well, fair enough. That's a good business. Like, people are watching it, people are behind it, even though it is pure bag. Like,
but there's almost something fun about.
Have you ever seen the Sharknado? What it actually is?
Yes, a tornado with
sharks in it.
Yeah.
Somehow.
But again, there's some mental. It's the mental bastard of green lights. That's the problem. Because you like, it's that same thing. You go, how about a fucking tornado with sharks? And someone's like,
I like that.
Like, we know a guy who'll do a film. He would like that idea. You know, he'd be like, why don't we do that? And you'd be like, fucking, because it's absolutely ridiculous, that's why.
What about I can't even speak. What about a tornado with sharks?
And then the joke's on you because he gets it made. You're like, how the fuck's he done that?
That face is great.
It's so sly I have no hair anymore because it was much better when I had a flop on top. You know? Oh my god. But anyway,
is there anybody, do you know anybody that's more 90s than that guy?
No, he's 90s.
Isn't he just 90s? Like,
90s, yeah.
What if we just fucking what if we, it's always just something like, what if we make it like Noel's house party? No.
Yeah.
Noel's house party's over. Let it go.
I know. What about Michael's house party? Just everyone gets gutted.
Oh my god. Oh mate.
But listen, what we're doing.
Pooh's honey and blood party.
Pooh's honey and blood. I mean, someone will have a poo honey party.
Remember a band? There was a band called Mud Honey. Do you remember them?
I've heard that name before, yeah. But
wasn't for me really. Like, but
now, what I want to try to do on the podcast now, because it's the SLY GUY podcast, I want to try and bring back a wee old favourite from a previous podcast I used to delve in, the Boytown podcast many years ago. There was a segment we did where you had to pick a phone call for your opposing podcast to make, and you had to do it and try to keep the person on the other end of the phone as long as possible, and as genuine as possible. So would you like to get your phone and then put it on mute or on a hidden number?
How do you do that? Type 141 in front of the number?
Yeah, you can do that. I think that's the old school way, I believe. I don't know what the new is. Is it an iPhone you've got there?
No, an Android. I've just done such a joxer burp in here, by the way. I apologise. Let me see. Yeah, so 141.
Okay.
Right.
Let's get a number. I'll go for a random place, right? So
excuse me. I have a wee bad cough today. No, that's not nice.
Let me look for somewhere. Now again, I should have been prepped, but you know this is the beauty of life, isn't it? You just get it is wee joxer burp. What did you have?
You not tell?
Meat.
Had a wee chicken sandwich.
I can smell meat.
I was planning on getting a salad.
Tell the number there. For anyone who knows, this is a bookstore that Ciaran's going to call, right? So
did I type it in correctly?
Yes, it looks like it. If you hit that a call, hold on, I've got some notes I don't want you to write. So I'll give you the heads up before you go. You can take this wherever you want, but you're looking at a book from this particular place, and you'll be like, listen, I'm just wondering a book. It's by a guy, you don't know his name. You think he's a Japanese guy. I think he's called like Datsun Hyundai or something. So you say like he's called Datsun Hyundai. He makes little things. So like little burgers and little stuff, like he knits little things.
He knits burgers?
No, he makes little burgers, he knits little jumpers. He just, make wee small plants and all.
Okay.
Miniature art, wee slippers. And then I want you to say just wee baskets of shopping and all for the lads. So he makes but little baskets of shopping for the lads. And then just say he's on TikTok, but I think he's got a book. And then at the end, just be like, oh, he might have a book.
right.
So you're trying to,
You keep that alive for me there so I can see, right?
Let's go answer.
Hello, bookshop.
Hello, mister. I was just I was calling up. I'm inquiring about a book that I'm looking for, and I was wondering if you might stock it.
Give me a wee sec, would you?
Yes, no worries.
Sorry, go on ahead. What's the book?
Come here to me. So I'm inquiring about a book. Now this is a wee bit ridiculous, but there's a guy I watch on TikTok. He's a miniaturist, and I believe he's released a book. He makes like wee small versions of things that you can get in real life. So like he makes like
things. Yeah.
Like he would make like.
I think I've actually seen it.
Yeah, he makes wee burgers, and like he knits like he makes like wee slippers, and he knits like wee pajamas and all for dolls and stuff, wee plants and all, and slippers and whatever. But he was saying, I was on his TikTok and he said something about this book being out. Now I don't know if we're thinking of the same guy. He's like a Japanese guy. I think his name's Datsun Hyundai or something like that. But I don't know. I'm just on his TikTok here, and I'm saying, I'm saying here. Do you So he does these miniature things. I'm just wondering, do you stock that?
Do you stock that sort of stuff? See, it's because we're second hand.
Right.
It depends what comes in, but I mean, with stuff on dolls and sort of miniature furniture.
Do you have any Datsun Hyundai stuff there, or?
No, we wouldn't. Not at the minute. So we wouldn't.
And what about right? Do you know anywhere that would have that sort of thing? Because it was just
the best place a couple of places to try would be, one of the new shops.
like Waterstones or something, or
yeah, but your best chance, to be honest, of getting something like that would be online.
Right. Okay.
So do a search online and see if you can.
I see. All I did there was just type in bookshops Belfast, and you're up near top. You know what I mean? So I just I try not to use the big chains because
I agree 100%. Thanks, but I know we haven't got anything from him at the minute. Now that doesn't mean to say we won't get something sort of come in, but what I'm saying is we don't specifically know when that might happen.
Yeah.
So
do you know what sort of stuff do you have there?
Just a few bits and pieces, just on sort of dolls, making bits and pieces for doll houses and stuff like that. They're just the general sort of stuff, nothing too sophisticated, to be honest.
You don't have anything about like wee burgers or anything?
No.
Right, okay. Well, appreciate the advice about maybe looking for it online, but I'll keep away out though, your man.
Just keep going through. I mean, a few of the shops in Belfast and around and about sort of thing as well, but just in case, because it's surprising just sometimes what
it is. It's hard. It's just hard to find like the Datsun Hyundai or the Suzuki Honda. It's just
yeah.
But appreciate it anyway.
No problem, man.
Take it easy. Have a nice day. Bye. That's how many times did I say Datsun Hyundai?
That was so enjoyable. The fact that he just bit it anyway.
He just bit it.
It was I've heard of him, but I don't think we have any right now. So.
Not to say that we won't get any. I don't think you'll be getting too many Datsun Hyundai second-hand books.
See, like next week, let's bring them back. Say, I was just wondering if you've had any Datsun. They're the best. See the people play along.
I love it. Do you know what's great? Having the whole list just gives you wee options to throw at them.
That's
do you have anything about the wee burgers? Oh, mate.
But in fact, he was like, yeah, I know what you mean. That's sort of art on TikTok.
I think I've seen him. You haven't. There's no way you've seen this guy. The wee burger guy.
That was so very enjoyable. That's in Hyundai. Oh, no. I can't take that.
Dave was getting phoned by Datsun Hyundai.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, that's very funny.
Can I just say something? I got offered a corporate today. And
the gigs today?
No. Right. It's for a Christmas party. And it's 35 to 40 minutes.
Right.
100 quid.
Fuck off.
Nish. I said nish. I'm actually going to look for
what type of business offered you that?
I think it was some sort of restaurant, so they'd probably be able to, like, if you bought them small utensils, so they could whip up a wee small burger. But
that's crazy. £100. £100 for any corporate event, for any length of time.
30 to 40 minutes?
No, that's absolutely.
Because you could be sitting there eating bag.
Yeah,
most likely in a corporate. Oh my god!
Why do they think that's a real fee? £100.
I don't know. Because what was funny, the email I got from. They were like, you literally used the word, I'm just asking you here, but it's crap. I was like, well, fair play to you. Oh my god, it really tickled me.
That's fucking funny, man. I can't believe that. I can't believe he bit. As you say, bit and went with it. Like,
but you know what? That's classic. And I loved how he wouldn't go for big books. He's like, no, don't be going anywhere.
He's like, I got his politics and all as well.
Yeah, it was very, very good.
I extracted that from him. I love, though, that other bookshop that we tried, that bookshop on one of the dodgiest streets in Belfast, doing too well to accept phone calls.
Sorry, we're not answering the calls.
Sorry, we don't take calls now because we're shifting so many books today.
But they would be the sort of place that'd be like, man, let me just check. Well, wait, that's in Hyundai on the system here. Oh my god, fuck, that's so good.
That was mental.
This feels so nice to have a segment back. And I'm keeping the segment going with one more.
Right.
Segment for you. This is the new you're the new man trying the new segments.
Segments.
You've done the phone calls, and now your next segment is I want you to be sly. This is Sly Guy Podcast. I want you to give off about something that's annoying you this week. Things that are getting on your tits. Things you want to give out about.
What do I want to give out about?
Yeah. What's fucking annoying you?
I've done something to this shoulder. I don't want to give out about my own nervous system, but that's Ciaran, isn't it? Oh, I don't know what that is. What?
Have you ever done?
Look how bored Chloe is with this. Just going.
Is Chloe sympathetic to you if there's something wrong with you, or is she not? No.
Now here, I'll say this.
Catherine's not the meat one.
She absolutely looks after me.
Yeah.
She doesn't give me sympathy.
Blood and
I'm only joking. She does. She gives me sympathy. She looks after me. I'll say this though. She laughs a lot. Mm-hmm. She laughs a lot at my agony, my misery. She can see. She was shaking her head and going 2 seconds ago, and I was like, she doesn't give me sympathy. But when I say she laughs a lot at my pain, nothing, no reaction.
No, it's fair.
You know, Chloe has probably like a sort of sense of humor around me, where like if I stub my toe, she loves that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you love that. Tell the truth. Yeah, she did. See, this story hurts both of us, love, because I have to tell people that you cut my toenails for me. But one day she was doing it with a wee clipper, and she clipped off part of my actual toe, and she was deeply upset about it.
But how inaccurate are you? Because now
I have weird wee toes though. There's wee knobbly bits in places.
But Catherine did Holly's wee nails when she was only a newborn and cut her, I think, on purpose, so she would never have to do it again. But and that was the worst thing, because then a wee baby doesn't, make noise.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, and I was like holding her away, going, "You're one bastard."
You're one bastard.
She's like, you, and I've just been cutting her nails ever since. But like my own nails, like my nails are like Father Jack's nails. Like my toenails, like back in the day, and you watch Father Ted, you're like, "Why is Mrs. Doyle got the fucking visor on?"
Yeah.
And now you're old, you're like, "I get it."
No, I have that too. I have terrible trouble with my 2 big toes, Dave. I really do. My nails on my big toes for whatever reason. Chloe thinks she knows the reason. She thinks it's because the way I manually cut my, like I bite these nails, yes. But I bite them in such a way where they look like they're cut.
Yes.
And down there on my toes. 2 phrases I hate: down there and the back passage.
Yes.
I hate the phrase.
What would you use as
would that be in the back passage? No, it's not a hallway. It's my. Just call it asshole.
Yeah.
Would that be up your arse? I know what you're talking about.
I like a shite pipe. That's a word.
A pipe. Yeah.
Pipe.
Would that be up your pipe? It's such a doctor's. Oh. And what's it like down there? Swampy doctor.
See, when I was at Lavery's last week, Colin was telling me something that his dad referred to the back passage as. He was talking about a rugby match, and he said that he goes, "I hope South Africa do England up the Browner." The Browner's a great term for a format there.
That is good.
Oh, let's see.
I'm trying to think of something that I could be sly about, Dave. Chloe has a suggestion. What?
Not you, but you heard somebody else being sly.
Oh,
I don't know.
Slyness and bitching, I love it.
Do you want to text me it?
Thumping somebody.
Oh yeah, no, that was just some wee woman. I heard this wee woman. So I walked past her on the way to the bank machine. She was like a wee old Irish woman, and she was talking to an old Irish lad, and she obviously worked in like whatever the bar restaurant was there, and he was just sitting outside, but they knew each other, and it's in a wee village or whatever. And she like on the way by, it all seems lovely and all. He's going, it's definitely turning in autumn into winter, and she goes, the nights are coming in fast, Michael. They're coming in fast. They're very fast, right? And I'm like, oh, this is lovely. And I go to the bank, and then on my way past, I just hear going, oh, I don't like her myself now, Michael. I'd like to give her one good fucking hard belt. And I was like, all right, you calm down. Something I can be sly about.
And you were down Kenmare, weren't you? On the roads?
Yes, but I normally don't reveal that location, Dave. No, it's out. You've turned it into a tourist attraction now.
Yeah, there you have
People are going to be going there to
I've been to Kenmare.
See if they can sniff the seats we've been sitting on.
You've had a Kenmare, that's your problem.
Kenmare.
Because you went down, I went up. I was at the old North Coast.
I like the North Coast,
which was a nice time.
That's a great time. Port Rush, Port Stewart,
and Port Rush. One night in Port Stewart, one night in Port Rush.
I love a wee Port Stewart myself.
We went out for a nice dinner.
Where'd you go?
Amici.
That's nice.
Italiano.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Spot. But that's where I got my big steak. The steak.
Your big fucking.
My meat in.
Your big. Yeah, throwing your steak in.
Throwing my steak
in.
Yeah,
I was mistaken.
But how would you react to this scenario? We were up with another couple, and my mate Griff went to buy a round of drinks, which with the kiddie money.
Right. Yeah.
So he got 4 cocktails, and he went up, and he came back with cocktails, and like Catherine was sort of like, "Do you have anything else? Like change?" He was like, "Nah." And she's like, "What?" I said, "Give him the tip." She's like, "What? I gave you 50 quid there." And the round was 38 quid. And he thought, I thought it just did 40 quid. So he just gave him a full 12 quid tip.
Oh
and,
my God.
What's the move there? Do you go back and go, "Listen, excuse me, I thought it was..."
The only move.
It's gone.
Well, funny, now I did talk about this on my podcast, but we went to St. George's Market last night. Mm-hmm. St. George's Market? I'm going... I'm tired. I don't know. And
that's in Suzuki.
I know. Think about them wee burgers, them wee knitted burgers, and so he.
It was whenever he just went, "And we plants too."
Did you? Do you know what the funny? The bit that nearly made me laugh was when you go, "Say, come here to me." I'm like, trying not to laugh. So and then I go, "Come here to me." How was that? So. We went into St. George's Market last night. Here, I'll just say this. We went in, and it was £1 in. So we went to see Miriam Margulies in Waterfront, and then we realised on the way in that the market was open for Halloween night. And then it was £1 in.
Spooky?
Had they spooked it up a wee bit? I no, they had actually.
Were you spooky last night? Because I saw you had dark hair. I was like, have you just done the full dye job?
I was.
Princess dye job?
And her down the head and fuck that anyway. Head and shoulders in the glove compartment. Anyway, so we do you remember that joke?
Yes.
I was an all time classic. Anyway, so we
where the ghosts go on holiday? Malibu. I was one of the kids at our Halloween party.
My God.
Last night. Shout out Jessica.
Yeah. So we went in. They had big skeleton type things with big
skeleton pipe,
big drapes, skeleton type things.
I was like
skeleton pipes.
Skeleton pipe.
No, they had like big skeleton ghosts and all hanging off the ceiling and all. So it was good.
I
know. I realised you made that sound class. It was good. So it was £1 in though. On the way in, the guy goes, £1 in, it's for charity, and I went right. And I never have cash on me, so I lifted my wallet out. And there was a stray tenner in it, but I mean, I never have that, right? And I went, "Oh fuck, happy days of a tenner." I handed it to the guy, and he went, "Have you no pound coins?" And I went, "No, mate, I've nothing else." I've literally said out loud, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any cash. I'll check. Oh fuck, happy days. There's a tenner. Handed him it.
Does he not have buckets of coins?
He has a fucking box filled with bags of coins and then lifts a tray of that out to reveal fivers and tenors. And I'm like, and he's staring at me and he goes, "I have to give you a change, John." I'm like, aye, you will. And then he starts fucking around. Do you know what ended up happening? Now, I realise now he's conned me. But I just went, "Do you know what? Keep a fucking tenner, it's for charity." And he goes, "What?" And I goes, "Just keep it, it's for charity, isn't it?" "Yeah." "You sure?" I'm like, "I'm sure I want to get in here before it closes." "You fucking slow cunt." You know, there's something to be slapped at. He annoyed me. And then we dandered round.
But you know what? I bet you it wasn't even a quid in. Bet he's just a fella standing there.
I said this earlier. I was going, he's probably literally just done us, sir.
Yeah.
And going, "It's charity." Doesn't say it's for, children in need, Tiny Life. Mate, Tiny Life was the first one that came to my head. But
because of all the wee tiny burgers and the wee knitted vest you could give them.
Like Tiny Life. Yeah. Have you got that on my iceberg? It's called My Tiny Life. Have you got that? He has a wee dick and all.
I hope that's not racial. Stereotype.
Oh mate, that's mad. But yeah, no.
But do you not read the story about the dude who set up a fake car park at the football? I think it was maybe Arsenal.
I did hear about that.
And he every match day he would just go and stand at a local Presbyterian church.
Just take money off
people. Yeah, set the cars in, and then after I think it was like 15 or 20 years, they were like, "What's going on here?"
It's like there was a guy in Spain who had quit his job and all, I think, or he was. There was definitely a guy in Spain who had just stopped coming into work, and they actually thought he was dead, and he was still getting paid. Like, it was like an office job, and he was getting paid like 35, 40 grand a year, and just taking the wage and going, I don't have to go to work anymore.
I'm coming up to the end of my career break here in December. Maybe I should just not reply to him and then just see if I get done.
Just don't go in. See they'll pay you.
But you know what's so shit? See, when you have to do stuff like pensions and all. That shit, get a lot transferred over.
How long was the career break for?
2 years, yeah, two. So I'm done 2. Now, the option's there to extend it, but I'm just going to be risky and go, nah, fuck it. I'm out. Get rid of
the melt of having to ever deal with it.
Yeah, but you know what I like? I get wee emails. I get an email every Friday just about jobs and a wee bit of what's going on. So I sit there like a wee gossip bitch going,
I still keep tabs sometimes on what's happening in the academy.
The academy?
Academia.
Oh, academia.
I still keep tabs on like what jobs are coming up here and there in the arts. You know?
Do you know what? Would you ever take on another job?
No.
Do you reckon?
No.
Not even a wee temporary job or a wee something?
It would need to be really specific and suit me down to the fucking ground. Like, it would need to be like, come in a day or 2 a week and teach something like ancient history, or come in and teach a bit of writing.
But you obviously now do the Mysteries podcast. How much more difficult is it trying to make things make sense to Shane than it does to a class of people? Because to me, anything I've ever spoken to him about that's been some sort of any way related to learning or intellect has been very much a struggle.
I think the concept of BC and AD is an issue for Shane.
Yeah. Like
the concept of...
Is he the world's most successful man, given his capacity? I think so. There's an argument for him.
It's... given his capacity. I think it's the concept that, say, that 450 BC is closer to us than, 460.
Yeah.
That it goes backwards.
That baffles him, does it?
I believe it does, but his face doesn't. It's hard to read because his face doesn't change whether the information's going in or not. So sometimes he will surprise you with something that he's retained. Because
very often I think he'll be thinking of something else when you're talking to him, and he'll be like...
And he's fully said this on Mysteries, is like, there's most of the episodes, because we do it where I lead an episode and then there's and he learns, and then there's he leads and I learn.
No, or he
leads. There's very little of the ones that I've led. There's very few of those. I think maybe only one of them I really had to go and learn about, because I didn't really know anything about it. The rest of them I've sort of already known. But Shane will say like that he goes on and does like hard research for an hour, and then tries to get into the studio as quickly as possible, so that he has retained something. But I think he did Robert the Bruce one, which is a hard subject, and Joan of Arc, which they're both fucking... I didn't know anything really about either of those.
Well, I know he was the first gay guy.
The Bruce?
Robert and Bruce. They went and lived on a wee island off Rathlin.
Robert and Bruce.
Yeah, and they were the first gay couple, and they were like just out having a holiday on Rathlin. Then they saw a spider.
Just ramming the puffin into each other.
Bollocks. Yeah, absolutely smashing the puffin on each other. Yeah. And then they're like, bollocks, we may go back and do a bit of work here.
I think they'd be puffing something to fucking jump up your pipe. You know what I mean?
Bobby and Bruce.
Bobby
and Bruce do sound like a generic Belfast gay couple, don't they? Like in their mid-60s. Bobby and Bruce going around to Bobby and Bruce's tonight for a fucking vegetable loaf. Like vegetable roll with Bobby and Bruce.
Going around there for a wee veggie korma.
Hello, have we? Be back to the toilet I saw in Apple Green. It's
that wee korma just falling out of someone's back passage. I hate that phrase so hard. Like,
do you find there's certain people that, like the way people speak, like you? I know we've had some fun moments about certain like things that are very so great. You know, things like that. I've heard a few conversations like. I just overheard things like school gates and things, walking around the village of Ballyholme, and sometimes I go, "Oh, that's too much even for me."
Right.
Oh my goodness, I could not believe it was Gooey Nguyen. I
was like,
I hate that. Are you queuing this weekend?
I hate that voice. I don't know. I don't know where that voice has originated.
You know what I think it is? I think it's a combo of like, oh, we should be a bit posher because we're from here, mixed with we've watched The Hills / Made in Chelsea / Gewing.
I think it is definitely
it's a bit weird.
A goggle box thing.
It's a strange thing.
Also, like, I have. So sorry, you were saying there about the so great.
Yeah,
it's it was really great. Which just I heard a conversation. I don't think I've talked about this on a pod before, but I have a cousin, right? So because of the way, so because my dad was the youngest in his family and quite a bit after other people in his family, I technically have cousins who are like nearly.
I did a Shane there. That confused me.
Like my dad had like nieces and nephews who are nearly my dad's age.
Yes.
So like, you know,
I always find that weird when your cousin's older than you.
Like when like I have cousins that are like
younger uncle and all.
I have this cousin I'm about to talk about here is like 70, right? Yeah. True story, right now. But I don't really know her. What?
Errol?
No, it's a woman, but I don't want to give her name, but
Merle.
No, but if you can guess it, a famous singer from here, female old singer.
I only said Val Doonican there.
No, a woman.
Oh, does she sing with your man from the Pogues?
No.
Oh, what's her name?
You're thinking of McCall. Kirsty McCall.
Not Kirsty McCall. She did a cover of and it was the worst live performance it's ever been ever.
Well, you'll get there eventually here with this.
Philomena. Yeah.
Now I can't confirm or deny that that's the name of my cousin. Okay. Right. Anyway, this cousin of mine. Let's call her Philomena. Saying that's her name, right? Story, anyway, look, this cousin of mine. She comes over one night. What? No. Comes over. So my auntie, her mum.
What's her name?
R.I.P. Auntie Josie. Now, Auntie Josie was a fucking saint, right?
Jodeci?
On that here. What? Auntie Josie?
I think he said Jodeci.
No. Jonesy?
Jodeci?
Alright, no, not Jodeci, right? My Auntie Josie. Now, Auntie Josie was a fucking saint, right? Yeah. She was lovely.
Every saint has a past.
She wasn't. Fuck off, right? Auntie Josie's past was keeping her nail varnish in the fridge and fucking
away from her back passage.
These are very back passagey type people, right? So
what's that mean?
That they would use that for his.
All right, okay.
And it's in the back passage, right? So anyway, Auntie Josie was lovely, right? Now, but she was quite a bit older than my dad and all, right?
Philomena's 80 or something.
She's like 70 odd now, but you're going back a few years.
Okay.
But you're maybe Auntie Josie's probably in her 80s, right? And surely she wasn't well. God love her, right? And this was a year or two before.
Was she right in the head?
Yes. Okay. This is a year or two before she passed away. So.
How old were you?
I was in my 20s, like, right? Like, you're going back here maybe 10 years, maybe just after.
27.
Right? And so we get I'm about 25, right?
12 years ago then?
What?
12 years ago?
About 10, 12 years ago, right? Okay. So
be accurate.
So she's not well. Let's say it's 10 years ago. I'm 27, right? So it's my cousin and her two brothers who are also my cousins.
What are their names?
I can't tell you, right? But Rob and Peter to pay, and Stephen, footballer for Liverpool, right? Gerard, right? No, I'm only joking, right? So
Jordan Paul,
right? Right. So they came over to our house because they were in Belfast to visit their mother in hospital, and they were telling us that she wasn't well. And so they came in a visit one evening, and it was when that happens in our family. By the way, whenever I see these, especially Jordan Paul, are two really funny guys, really nice guys as well. Whenever I see them, the crack just starts. It's that sort of thing where I don't see them often. When we do, it's good crack, right? But I've never really said two words to
How old are those lads?
How
old are those lads?
I'd say they're probably in their 60s, 50s and 60s. George's a bit younger, right? I don't know why I'm giving you all their details. PIN numbers are coming up at the end.
I'm just going to defraud them,
And so they
surname?
Fuck off. So they came up. They no, I nearly did it as well. Anyway, they came over, And in our house, that becomes a Ciaran put the kettle on situation, right? And I'm like, oh, mummy, right? So I go in and I'm making tea and coffee. Now, my beef with making tea and coffee, I don't mind making a cup of tea for my lovely wife, right? And if you come over to my house, Dave, that'll be no problem. But see, making like tea and coffee for 8 people when I don't fucking drink.
You're not a granny.
When I don't drink tea or coffee in the house.
That's a granny's
that
job,
annoys me.
Grannies love that.
Now, I am in making the teas and coffees. So I'm only hearing bits and bobs. And my dad is sitting talking to Ciaran Paul. And they're having a great old time. There's laughter from all over that side of the room. They're having a gag, right? And
Phil not having as much crack.
She's sitting talking to my ma about a real, it's the serious side of the room now, right? One of those conversations, right? And I'm like, and my sisters are as well, and so we're sort of walking in and out, being like,
which
hand
one?
the teas over, or Sheila, right? So we're handing over the teas and whatever, and I start picking up more out of the conversation that Mum's having, right, with her woman, and she says to my ma, "Have you had to do the test?" And I'm like, beep 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 beep, my fucking comedy antenna, right? And my mum goes, "What test is it?" "The one that you have to poo on," right? And I went,
"What fucking test is
blood
this?"
and honey test, right? And I'm going, right?
Key stage 3.
And apparently when you're a woman and you breach 60, there is a test where they post you out, like in the post, a wee test, and you basically to fucking wipe your gooch on.
You nearly said doubt, didn't you?
I nearly said hole, right? So I was like, who, right? You have to wipe your gooch on it, right? And send it away.
Your shitter?
You have to wipe shit on it, right? And you send it away, right? And then they're gonna test it, and it's like you're 60 now. We're looking at your shit,
like a wee skid or an actual scoop.
I think a skid is what they want, right?
So like you could just go down now.
I think they
want
want you to just do a fucking scorcher over the fucking corner, right? Just for me, I probably have to dog ear it and scrape, right? But anyway, right? So, I keep a fucking tight ship down there around my back passage right now. Anyway, so
groundskeeper.
Groundskeeper. So that sounds like a Manscaped product. Yeah, here's the groundskeeper.
The caretaker.
Get the new caretaker 2.0, right?
Yeah.
So we get. I'm here. So I'm sort of hearing all this. Well, I'm going, which test is it? And she's like, the one you have to poo on. And I'm like, right. And Mum goes, and Mum is trying desperately to get into the conversation that Dad's having with these two, because that's good crack. And she's going, yes, I had that test, yes. Mm-hmm. Jim, and my dad's just in the middle of the gag and doesn't give a fuck, right? And I'm sitting in the middle of it all going, right? Mate, this phrase came out, well, I did mine. And my mum goes, and everything all right? Yeah. And she just goes, this was the phrase that I heard. Well, no, not actually. Turns out there was blood in it. And I literally just went, that's it, I'm out. Then I wanted to fucking throw her up. I'm like,
he'd be like, here, do you need some honey for that?
When your 60-year-old cousin talks about gap smear, like you know, poo dump.
Gap smear sounds like somebody you come across in mysteries. Gap smear, the fourth.
So the phrase there was blood in it has now become like a phrase that gets used every now and again in our house if somebody's not well. You go, you know, just every now and again, or it did anyway for a while, where you'd go like, oh, I'm not feeling well. You all right? No, there's blood in it. You know what I mean? You have a cold or something. No, there's blood in it.
And have you should get her on the pod. Get her on the
I thought it would be slab at her. Yeah. You know, I thought that was a good way to throw her under the bus. And give her her full name as well.
Yeah, the full name. So anybody, if you know her, tag her, get her in the clip.
If you want another wee very brief snippet.
Yes, let's go for it.
Just about that same
We've time.
I'll be 1 minute, I promise, right? Because this is just one of those things. I had never met her husband ever. And it was just never mentioned ever.
Yeah.
It was always just like anytime she would have been around to visit or at a family event, it was always, I can't tell her husband's name.
I was just going to say, he comes round, he just lulled the conversation, he goes, you ever tried anal?
There's blood in it, yeah. So he, let's call him Tony. That isn't even anything like his name, but anyway.
He's like, let's just call him Tony.
Right, yeah, it's not even his name, but it would be like, people would go like,
What does his name sound like?
fuck off. And so people would go, you'd be like, all right, how's it going? Where's Tony? Oh, he couldn't be here, he's working, he has work. And you're like, at every wedding ever, okay, I know he just doesn't want to be here, that's fine, right? Any of that stuff, right? And then I actually met him. The first time I met him was when, and I mean, I hadn't ever even seen this person, right? And I met him at Auntie Josie's funeral, R.I.P., right? And I remember we're walking up the hill in the graveyard where she's about to be buried, and me and our Kevin and Declan are walking up. And it's quite somber, but we were having a wee bit of a...
Funerals are good crack.
Right, we're having a wee bit of crack, right?
Crack, yeah.
And so your man comes over, bear in mind, and
Tony?
Tony has come over, and this has become like a whole joke in my family, like in my side of the family, about like how he doesn't exist. Like these Kaiser Soze, he's everybody and nobody, right? You know, he exists in all of our hearts. He's Santa. All these jokes for years and years and years, but very much promulgated by me being like, you know, he doesn't exist, right? Because I said it one day and everybody fell about laughing. It became this whole thing. So then he finally comes over. We're walking up the hill to the fucking grave, and he comes over out of nowhere. I don't even know who it is. And he just goes, someday for it, right? And Daggy goes, aye. And he goes, chat these later, lads. And he walks on up a hill ahead of us. And I goes there, Kevin. I goes, who the fuck was that? And he goes, that's Tony. And I went, Tony fucking her husband? He goes, aye. And I went, my bollocks. And our dad just turned around and goes, was it worth it? Right? Like the wait, right? And so we go on about, well, I won't even get into that bit, but anyway, we'll go on and on. And then, like, I mean, about a year after that, my ma, next time that cousin was about, my ma thinks, do you know what'll be top banter? I'm going to tell her that our Ciaran has started this whole joke about how he doesn't exist and how he was crack when he finally met him. And I'm like, and my ma just told her, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you don't do that. Like, I felt, mate, totally rare. And then it's all like, so you think you're funny then? And I'm like, but I am funny, leave me alone.
That happened to us to a similar extent. That my granny, you know, grannies would talk about people and be like, oh, sure, you know them? And you'd be like, nah, I don't. And he'd be like, oh, sure, he's got the blonde hair. And he goes, and I was like, I don't know. Like, my Aunt Ethel, who just passed away there a couple of months ago, really sad when she died, but she would like, towards the end, would be a wee bit daughtery. She'd be like, you know my sister Femi, don't you? And I was like, no, she died in 1973. She'd be like, are you not? He goes, nah, you're not your dad, are you? And I went, no, I'm not my dad. You know, but my granny would always go on about this wee guy, Billy.
You're not your dad.
No,
that's
funny. No. And she'd always go like my granny would always be talking about this guy. She was friends with Billy McComb, and he'd ride a motorbike and all. And me and my dad were like, oh, I fucking Billy McComb. No, it's my granny know about Billy McComb and all this shit. And then we was like, she's fucking spoofing this, made this character up in her head. And then when she died at the funeral, this guy comes up like a fucking old T-bird with a hair whipped back, and we're standing, you know, at the end. He goes, I'm Billy. You're, you know, I was friend of your grandmother's. And my dad goes, Billy, and he goes, Billy McComb, and the two of us went, yeah, like, you know, just about to cry. Well, a gay bird more like, but it was just the two of us. We were just about to absolutely piss ourselves because we didn't know what to do. And there he is, he's real, and you're like, fuck me.
See, I'll just give you this. See at that funeral, by the way. Couple just, and this is like, I don't know, this is like niche banter here, but funny. This is funeral banter at like Premier League level. There was like an order, a clearly defined but unwritten order of who's gonna scoop dirt in. Yeah, you know, they do that at funerals.
Yes.
And so obviously, like, it's gonna be, you know, my Auntie Josie. Yeah. She's obviously buried, and then it's gonna be. So
it's not gonna be her.
No, yeah. The order was so clear, and then I fucked it. I'm like, everyone's waiting on her to do it. No, so she, God love her. When she was really lovely, right? Yeah. Really kind. So she passed away. She's buried, and then there's a clear order where it's gonna be her 3 children, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So they all go up together and do it, and then it's obviously gonna be. Like, I think out of my dad's family at that point, there was just my 2 uncles and my dad. So my eldest uncle went over and did a scoop. The next uncle went over and did a scoop. And then it's my dad's turn. And then out of nowhere, as my dad goes to walk over, And my dad was very ill at the time as well. He anyway, he's very ill. So as my dad goes to walk over, this guy, who for no reason, by the way, at this funeral, is wearing a fucking bright blue suit with red shoes. Right,
Aaron Butler.
I mean, he looked like he was working for Butlins, right? It was except the coat was the wrong colour. It was mental. Bright blue suit,
Al Porter,
red leathery shoes, right? Yeah, right. Goes out of nowhere, just goes to go over and take a thing. And I remember, and my dad wouldn't be confrontational particularly, but I just remember my dad being like, and just cut in front of him, took the fucking thing and sort of went, oh, your shoes nearly, right? And so that was sort of funny. But then when it became then more and more people are doing it, and I'm going, surely you do like
you're going to have the grave at this point.
Surely after my dad will go our ways, right? Now it becomes, people are like, turn around to Arcaden, right? Ardagan's like, does one. Me and Kev went over to do one. And I don't know how he did it. All of it, it's sort of like this. You hear the noise of the wee trowel going into the soil, into the soil, and then into the soil, and then totally drop it into the grave, right? Into the soil, right? And then just the, like a wee. I don't know what Kev did, but mate, he absolutely bombed that funeral. Like, I mean, he went over and it was like, like that, and everyone, people actually went. You saw everyone just jump. The noise it made. I don't know what he did, but and as he's walking back to me, I'm standing there like this, trying not to laugh all the time.
Or was he trying to be like somber when he came back from it like this?
He's trying to be somber, and he's just absolutely near put the lid of the coffin in. Like, it was fucking mental. Oh God, but why at funerals? I think it's that thing of trying to be appropriate, and you have to really so anything that can slightly trigger you a wee bit is amplified by it, and it's just so 100%, mate.
Like when my Aunt Peggy died, she was buried in Newry, and it was like, she was getting buried quite near a Republican patch. So me and my dad were kind of like, fuck, she didn't know she was in that sort of.
Yeah.
But there's a guy who was a young undertaker, which sounds like something you would get on Dave or something. The young undertaker. But
there was one of those terrible reboots.
Yeah, but the old Undertaker was in a good sort of strong looking man, able bodied. The young Undertaker, don't know the medical condition, it did single word science. He would have been in the running to play a live action Quasimodo. So the old Undertaker, and we'll call him Quasimodo for the sake of the story, had to like manoeuvre her coffin on a trolley up from the chapel at the top of this hill, like right down to the Republican plot. And I was sort of like walking behind, kind of like going, should I help Quasimodo here? Because he was at the back end, and he was, like you were doing a deadlift, and you're struggling with it. So then we got down to the actual graveside, and he took one of the wee like ropes.
A deadlift, by the way.
Yeah, the young Undertaker. Yeah. But he went to do it with the ropes. I had to just step in and be like, oh. And then the old Undertaker and me were sort of lowering her coffin in, but then the old Undertaker bit of the saw gave way, and he sort of slipped a wee bit in, and I was like, fuck, the old Undertaker's going to go in here. And it was just the whole, and then when you're trying to do it, and I just looked up at Quasimodo, who was standing with his hands on his hips, and I sort of looked at him like, and he kind of went like if I had been doing that, it would have all been fucked. And it was just one of the funniest things ever, and I just loved looking at the wee guy. But the whole time I was like, I should be helping him earlier here. He should, like, I'm stronger than he is. Like, I know it's his place. I shouldn't be getting involved here. But I feel like this is going to end up, like, things are going from bad to worse for Quasimodo here. So I need to, And also, by the way, just on that note, why is Quasimodo's parents calling him Quasimodo?
Well, I actually can answer that for you.
Please do. I'm keen to know.
He was named. Was he not named by the evil priest guy, Frollo? And it means half. It means half.
Is Frollo frozen yogurt?
it means half formed, like half man.
All right,
that's what it means.
Because what was funny about that? I remember my dad was telling reading my sister a story. My dad he's literate up to a point, but he couldn't say the name right, so he was reading the Hunchback of Notre Dame book to my wee sister, calling him Quasmo, and it was one of the
that's fucking unreal.
He goes, so then Quasmo.
That's like calling her Hermione Granger. You know what I mean?
Quasmo and the gargoyles are on top of the
Quasmo. I love he's literate up to a point.
Yeah. Like, he can say some words, but then other words he just doesn't like Quasi, the emodo. No, just Quasmo, you know.
That's great.
Listen, Ciaran, this has been an absolute pleasure. I know at the minute we're in the middle of storm, Ciaran, actually.
We are.
And storm, Ciaran, you know what?
Chloe's been in that storm for a number of years now.
Have I shown you my
She's
folks'
been in the
house?
eye of the storm.
Oh, I nearly used another dodgy term there. But my folks' back, like my mother's and father's back passage has been destroyed by storm, Ciaran. Have I shown you this?
No.
No, it must have just been damn before I got here. Where are we? This is my man and dad's car here this morning.
Oh my god.
Storm Ciaran's fucked it. But we'll see their back garden. This is impressive. There used to be a wall there, mate. Isn't that wild?
Oh my god.
Cool. Absolutely wiped out. Storm Ciaran. Laying
waste the parts of Bangor there.
Yes. You know what? That if ever there was a place that Storm Ciaran would take out, it'd be the coastal path.
I've destroyed a few roofs in Bangor before, Dave, mainly around the courthouse area.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a good... Oh, you were there on Saturday, weren't you?
I did.
Who did you support?
Butler.
Wasn't as good as me, was it?
No.
Yes. Yes. No. Listen, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks,
I
mate.
could go on here for hours, but then I have to get into rush hour traffic and defeat Storm Ciaran. So,
yes. Thanks, mate, for having me.
Pleasure.
I'm the sly guy.